There's one spin. And another spin with a hair flip for you, Mark Jacobs. Hello, everyone. Welcome to day, I believe, 7 for our Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge. We're getting loosey-goosey here. It's almost the end of the challenge. We're feeling comfortable. What's up, Aria? Mark, yes. Can you hear me, Mark? Is the audio on? Andy, Sam, what's up? Super shout out to Sam Peterson for being such an MVP in the Slack channel, giving so much great feedback. Amazing. If you haven't checked out Sam's work, he's an awesome artist, so go check him out. Spinning, we're all spinning. What's up, James? Can anyone else spin in their chairs? Do you have a spinny chair like me? It's the latest model. What's up, Axel? Good to see you. Larry, Pujana. Oh, good, Brent. I'm glad that you get to join live. Very, very cool. I know, Whitney, it is a very rainy Northern California. We're in San Francisco, and I feel like I'm on the ark. I'm just gonna get flooded. It's crazy. Nadine, hello. Ashi, hello, Adobe Live. How are you? All right, so if you are new to our Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge, it is almost the end of the challenge, almost the end of the 2 weeks. But you are totally welcome to try and catch up with us so far. You can just keep these challenges in your back pocket and work on them whenever you would like. It is day 7, so if we go over to the Slack channel, I'll give you a little preview of the challenges that we have had in the past. Scroll all the way back to the top. We have so much history. So day 1 was blending. I'm still seeing people working on their blending projects, which is awesome. They're fine-tuning them. Layers came next, templates. This is where it really started to kick off. People got really excited about designing their own book covers. We did digital collage, and I got to see that you're all very talented with compositing and collaging. So cool. What's up, John? Anel, hello. Andrew from the Czech Republic, hi. And Sue from Colorado. All right, challenge 6 was type and texture. That was yesterday. And I'm seeing a lot of awesome postcards that you're all making, including some Valentines, which is a great idea. We will be streaming tomorrow on Valentine's Day, so make sure you're there for a Valentine's surprise. Paul, end of the 2 weeks. Why only 2 weeks? Yeah, the challenges are usually run over a 2-week period. But Paul, don't worry. These daily creative challenges, people seem to like them. So I think we might keep doing them. Oh, thanks, Anel. That's great. So today's challenge, thank you Sam for posting it, is working with the pen tool. I know, I saved this for later in the challenge because a lot of people are intimidated by the pen tool. I still am, a little bit, if I'm to be totally honest. If you have no idea what the pen tool is, it's a really popular tool in Illustrator. It allows you to create really precise selections with Bezier curves and straight lines as well. Mark says we love the pen tool. Oh, the challenge, I see. You love the challenges? Aw, Lisa, I'm so glad. Breathing intensifies. I know, pen tool, scary. But I'm gonna show you just the basics of how to use it in Photoshop specifically. Recently, it's gotten a couple updates, which makes it a little bit more intuitive and nice to use, closer to how it's actually used in Illustrator. So I think this is gonna be a cool challenge. If you want to come hang out with us on Slack, you can totally do so. We have a bunch of awesome channels. There should be a bit.ly that you can search to find our Slack. Here it is. bit.ly/PS Slack, and the P and the S, it's very important that they are capitalized because bit.ly is case sensitive, if you didn't know. So we have some awesome chats going on. Siobhan is talking about the awards going on, I believe later this week. Super cool. Aria is talking about it's her birthday tomorrow. Happy early birthday. We'll make sure to say it again tomorrow. And then this is a great place to post your work as you're working on it before you post it on Behance in your final portfolio. So these are a bunch of challenges from yesterday. Cyprios, Lee, a Valentine, as I said. Lakota Sue, doing a little bit of a Western bandana look. Oh, didn't see you there. Hope, never lose it. This is a great texture. Check that out. It's very dissolve-y. Denim's composite challenge. A cat doing yoga. I love that. That's me every morning. I wish. Actually, it's not. What's up, Russell? I know, Anthony, it's not a new pen tool, but it's just a little bit updated these days. Hello, Dee. How you doing? So come hang out with us on Slack. Great place to get feedback, and also the place where you will see the announcements being posted every day for the challenges. So we have 2 more challenges left. Awesome. So like I said, after we get done with our project today, we're going to be uploading it onto Behance within our Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge project. All of the different challenges from the 2 weeks should all be within the same project, and it'll be keyworded with PS Daily Challenge so that we can search for you and find you. Now, if you have downloaded the starter file, it should look kind of similar to this. This one's a little bit different, but you have all of the same assets. We're gonna make something kind of similar to a zine page. I noticed that there's this kind of trend going on of putting shapes on top of objects, specifically fashion objects like jackets and shoes, like textures that don't really belong there. And I'll show you what I mean in a second. So we are going to do something similar and add some cool text using the pen tool. So if you have Photoshop open and your starter file open, I have this shoes layer on, and the first thing that I want to do is not the pen tool. First thing I want to do is turn on Keycaster, actually. Keycaster! Alright. Move this up, yeah? Perfect. Alright, we're going to turn on our shoes, and we are going to get rid of this background because we just want this red square. Like the David Bowie's face. Yeah, exactly, Andy. Totally. And if you want to do something different, you don't have to use these assets. I know this is a little like kind of avant-garde and editorial, and if that's not your speed, feel free to use your own images. You could take a selfie, add some flair to your own outfit. I'm just using the selection tool that we used in Digital Collage Day, and I'm selecting around the square, zooming out, and then I'm going to inverse the selection, going up to select, and then inverse, and you'll notice that the background is now selected, and I'm just going to delete it. Don't need that. Deselect, Command D. Turn on those shoes, yeah. Check out these shoes. Aren't they kind of funny? These are like trendy again. They're so chunky. Interesting. Hello, Pisces. How you doing? All right, so let's add a texture onto these shoes. I'm going to turn on this pink texture that I have, and you'll notice that it's just a square. It's not being contained in any of the panels like I want it to be. So let's fix that with the pen tool. You'll notice that I have it on multiply layer, so that you can see through it a little bit. But let's turn it off for now, because we're going to just focus on this panel right here. Check out those outlining skills. Amazing. You like the background color? It's nice, right? I agree. All right, so let's dive into the pen tool. Hold your breath, but not for long, because we're going to be here for a while. The pen tool is hidden over here in the toolbar. So if you tap P, it should select. And if you click and hold on the pen tool icon, hey me, getting in my own way, you can have a bunch of different tools. So the curvature tool is pretty cool if you've ever played with it, or if you haven't, I would recommend trying it. It's the pen tool, but you use it a little bit differently. I won't go too far into that today though. Freeform, then the pen tool. Let's just stick with the pen tool right now. I'm gonna zoom in, get as precise as I can. So the way the pen tool works is you click, you add a point. If you click somewhere else, you'll see a line is drawn between the 2 points. So that's a path. And say I click and I hold and I pull out some handles. That's a Bezier curve, y'all. Check that out. Whoa. So this is where it can get kind of confusing for people. People might not have a super great handle on the handles. They can be a little difficult, but I will show you some ways to get around that. So I'm just doing Command Z to go back. Let's try outlining this shape. It has some nice organic shapes, but also some straighter lines. So I am going to click here first. This is going to be so useful. I'm glad, Siobhan. What's up, by the way? And then I'm going to click my end point. So I want to select this entire arc. So I'm going to click here and I'm going to hold, click and hold. I'm going to drag out a handle. And you'll see I kind of have a guiding line of where I'm trying to get these paths to line up with. And so you can drag these handles and kind of move them around as you see fit. The further you drag them out, the more kind of gradual the curve will become. So that works for me. Now I want to totally change directions, go back this way, and you'll notice if I click and I hold, Whoa, that's not what I want. Since I have this handle drawn out so far this way, it creates the curve pointing that way first and then coming back. So what we're gonna do is I'm going to zoom in so I can show you. I'm gonna hover over this point, I'm gonna hold Option, and you'll see when I do that, my cursor changes. So I'm gonna convert this point to being exactly that, a point with no handles coming out of it. Click, my handle disappears. And then when I click, you'll see that my path is perfectly straight, exactly how I want it to be. All right. And I can't lie and say that this is just gonna be easy right off the bat if you've never used the pen tool. It took me a long time to even get this comfortable, and I would not consider myself a pro. So just practice with it. I would say that 1 point of information would be less points, the better. The point puns, oh my gosh. So if you can afford less points, I would highly recommend it. I could do, say, 3 points in between here and there, but I'm just gonna do 1 right at the end. Keep things as smooth and as natural looking as possible. All right, so we're gonna use the same technique. Let's get rid of this handle. I could also grab the handle by holding Option, and you can change the direction that way, or you can just totally get rid of it. And that's all by holding Option and clicking on your points or your handles. All right, let's drop a point, drag a tiny little curve, change the direction, and we're pretty much almost done, people. This is easy peasy. Okay, we have a selection. It's not the most perfect thing in the world, but it's pretty good, and the pen tool is great at getting those organic and smooth curves on. It's like having the smoothing tool on your brush. It's very nice. Yeah, oh, and the more you play with the pen tool, the better. Jack says, I see the point of this. To you, Jack, I say, cheers, that was funny. Yeah, Eric, the less is better for the pen tool. Got an ice cube with that sip, oh no. Okay, so we have our path selected. In Illustrator, you would be able to just fill this with color immediately, do all kinds of stuff with it. But in Photoshop, we're gonna do something a little bit different. So I have my path totally closed and selected. I'm just gonna right click, and you'll see a bunch of selection options appear. So you could just make this a selection, so that would just add the marching ants, and you could paint inside of it, all kinds of stuff. Sig says, why not use the poly selection tool? Because the poly selection tool doesn't allow the curves. Yeah, and Mark, you can edit things as needed. It's very fine tuning. But the thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna create a vector mask. Vector in Photoshop? What? And when I do that, let's make sure that we have our pink texture layer selected. You can change the layer selection later, but it's easier to just have it now. So pink texture is selected. We're gonna go here, right click, create vector mask. And when I turn this layer on, pen tool magic, everyone. Amazing. Yeah, Sam, you can get some really nice curves and variety with the pen tool. Awesome, so let me step it back for you. We'll do that again. We have our path selected, our shape. If we turn this back on, we'll see that we still have our shape. And if we right click, create vector mask, it's easy. So you can go ahead and do this for different panels within these shoes. You could even get wild and try and select all of these. This is the perfect area for practicing the pen tool. It's a lot of straight lines, a lot of pulling out handles, a lot of converting, straight line, pull out a handle, convert. It's like when you're learning how to write in cursive, which do you still have to do? I learned how to do it, but you just have to do it repeatedly. So it becomes muscle memory. And if you do that, oh no, went too far back. Forward, 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 forward. Thank Photoshop for Photoshop. Let's just do it again. Practice makes perfect. I'm gonna do it really quickly. I'll show you how quick my pen tool skills are. They're not that quick. I think that is partly because I am more comfortable in Photoshop than I am in Illustrator. So I haven't always been a pen tool fan. Let's drag this handle out real far. There we go. All right, turn this on, right click. Create vector mask, boom. All right, so I have already done some other textures. I did the aforementioned practice of selecting all of these, and I also selected this and then just applied a gradient to it. I think the blue goes really well with this kind of strawberry peachy in the background. They call her the Flash. Nice. I know, so speedy, Lisa. So speedy. Okay, so we have our pen tool practice done. Highly recommend that you keep practicing. And then let's work on the text that's gonna go on in the background. I'm also gonna turn on a little background gradient that I added, which, pro tip, if you wanna add some visual interest, you'll notice how the background of this shoe, it kind of has a gradient as well. It goes from a darker red over to kind of like a lighter one over here, just by the way the lighting is. So when I added a background gradient, I did the opposite. So I have the dark down here and the lighter up here. Just kind of cool, interesting. Now I am going to change this text so it has more of a zany, futuristic feel. And to grab a cool typeface, I'm gonna go back to where we were yesterday. I am exploring the different font packs on Adobe Fonts. So if you do fonts.adobe.com, click on font packs, you can find all kinds of good stuff. Ta-da, even some scripts, pretty cool. So I did the Skate to Create pack, and I chose Gnarly OT. Kind of has like a digital, but also an analog feel. It feels kind of old-fashioned with the serifs. So let's change our typeface to Gnarly OT. I have my properties panel open. Just gonna drop down my fonts, and I have it sorted by Typekit or Adobe Fonts. So that is how I am sorting. Not favorites, just Typekit. All right. And you'll notice as I hover over, it changes in real time. This one's pretty cool. But we want gnarly. Let's get gnarly with it. Where's N? Where does N come in the alphabet? Let's do gnarly light. Cool. I wonder if I select them all, if I can change them all at once. Oh my gosh. Photoshop, you blow me away. You can. Cool, so I could just imagine this, if we export it and maybe throw it into a magazine mockup or a zine mockup, that's pretty cool. It's like the Nike ad of the future. Okay, let's get this exported. Gonna do export, export as. Yeah, you can, Lisa. Oh my goodness. And let's size this down because it is pretty big. Not 100, let's do 1,000. It's thinking, it's thinking. Let's make sure this is a JPEG. Just for consistency's sake. I think PNGs play pretty nicely on Behance as well. All right, cat start, DCC's day 7. Perfect. Save it. So gnarly, dude. All right, let's get this up onto Behance. This is all of you. This is all of you chatting. It's amazing. All right, let's go over to my project. Here is my beautiful DCC. Oh no, I'm logged in on the wrong name again. Paco, I'm sorry. We need to sign out. This happened last time. Just have too many accounts, I guess. Make sure Keycaster's turned off. All right. We're on TV, Ma. Wrong password. With the world watching. Cool. We're back in. Amazing. You can see all of my recommended work. It's mostly illustration because that is what I like to look at. All right, so now we are logged in. We are back, so I'm going to click the edit cog. Click edit. Happens here all the time. I know. Paco's the man. Okay, let's add our media. Not day 8, day 7, please. We want cat start. That's me. Full screen Kathleen. It happens to you like 10 times a day. Maybe we need to do something about that, Adobe. Huh? Hello? All right, we have my work here. Let's add our title. Day 8. Pen tool. I can go ahead and save it, but first I'm going to make sure that my keyword is PS Daily Challenge. Most important part. Save that. And let's go back to my profile, see it in real time. Oh, Adele, thanks. That's very sweet. Okie doke. And a day 8 and day 9, it's almost as if these are planned. Not as planned as you would expect. No, just kidding. Cool, so we have our pen tool here. Check out those beautiful selections. Got a little messed up there. Maybe I need to go back and edit that. But this one's good. This is the one I did live. Cool. So I super cannot wait to see all of your submissions. If you do want to check out other people's work that are working alongside you, just go to the search tool on Behance and then you will search here. I know this looks like a title, but it's actually a search bar. And just search PS Daily Challenge and make sure that it is sorted by most recent. So these are some of the most recent. I'm actually going to refresh just in case. And I wanted to check out maybe just this top row of projects, maybe give some feedback. I'm gonna option or command click, open them up in new tabs. Let's take a look. So this is by Pia, and I thought this was pretty funny. I actually looked at it before. It's a 404 page. This is perfect for maybe a personal website. 404, nothing to see here. Love it. Pia, I would recommend that you put all of your projects in one project, all of your challenges in one project, I should say, to show that you have right now you're showing that you have a breadth of work, but maybe not a depth because each of these projects will just have one image in it. Unless you really built these out, like maybe you could include some of your process, your images that you used, some sketches. You probably didn't sketch, but maybe, who knows? But nice job. Love the color palette as well. Really fun, kind of kitschy. Yes, everyone join the Slack channel, bit.ly/PS/Slack, capital P, capital S, and Slack. All right, this is by Marc Jacobs. This is very interesting. A New Year's card for 2020. I love the texture here. I immediately knew it was kind of like that watercolor or rice paper. And I wonder if these colors, I wonder if this and this background could be gold leaf, like if it was embossed or letterpressed. That would be very cool. Because right now the green is kind of, I feel like turning the image to be a little bit more, not negative, but have a more natural kind of earthy feel. Whereas maybe it would be nice if it were just the gold and the red and the blue. Something to think about. All right. So I wanted to click on this because I saw the thumbnail and that reminded me, I was like, that looks like Vasily Kandinsky. And then I realized that, oh, it is for Kandinsky. Cool. So you got the style pretty much dead on. I immediately knew. At the Centre Pompidou. Very cool. A little bit of a mock-up. Nice. This really looks like a little brochure that you'd get at the museum. Nicely done. Thumbs up. What's up, Hamza? All right, this is by Jessica. Ooh, this is very, very cool. So this is probably from day 5, which was compositing. And we had some questions like, what is the difference between digital collage and compositing? And I think Lee posted it in the chat or in the Slack channel pretty well, is that digital collage, it's okay if it's obvious that all of the different assets come from different places. It's supposed to look collaged and like it's layered on top of each other. Whereas a composite, it's supposed to trick you a little bit more. It's supposed to be believable that there's actually a human form that has a bouquet as a head. The lighting matches, it's selected very carefully, there's shadows. So yeah, I thought that was a pretty cool way to describe it. This is great. I think you chose really cool assets to mix with these models as well. It feels a little vintage and then it's a little bit faded. Those pegged jeans. All right, this is by Steven. Nice little bit of John Legend. That's John Legend, right? He's married to Chrissy Teigen. That's all I know. Cool, a beautiful mock-up, one that I don't see super often too, so that's always great if you can either make your own mock-up or find one that isn't the one that everyone else uses. Nice job. Perfect Valentine's Day card, Steven. And then we'll look at Anita's super quickly before I let you all go. This is from yesterday, Type and Texture. Oh, awesome. This has a Bauhaus feel. Daily Creative Challenge for Photoshop. Awesome, and I love the different layers of texture. It's not just the one brayer texture. There's a couple different highs and lows in there. Nice job, Anita. Okay, y'all, so we will be back tomorrow at 8:30 for day 8, which is Valentine's Day. Make sure you come back. Happy early birthday, Anel. I think that was Anel, or was it Aria? Remind me. I'll look it up. But we'll be back, and then the announcement for the challenge will go live at 8 a.m. Pacific. So 8 a.m. it goes live. 30 minutes later, the live stream will begin going over the challenge. It's going to be super fun. We have Adobe Live coming up after us, or after me. There's no one else here. So we have Howard and I believe Jackie coming up right after me, working on some XD goodness. Daniel and Melody coming up after that. And then Michael Crabtree and Howard finishing up the day. If you'd ever like to learn about some UI, UX, and screen design and web design, make sure you stick around. Very cool. Download XD. And I will see you tomorrow. Goodbye, everyone.